Hello everyone, thank you for watching my video. If you are new to my channel, please subscribe, and if you like this video, smash the like button. Thank you very much to my subscribers that keep watching my videos. I do appreciate it, and let's get to the video. The reason why I'm making an imposter syndrome video is because from my graduate scheme, I joined a company that turned over $20 billion a year. And this organization was a good organization to get into, to start my career, great foundation. I would recommend it to anyone. The reason why I'm talking about imposter syndrome is because it affects everyone of all ages, regardless of where you started, where you're ending up. It's in everyone. It's not an easy situation to be in sometimes when you feel in that way, but I want to talk about the signs and how to sort of overcome imposter syndrome, because it would have been very helpful for me if I had this advice a few years back. The first thing I would say is to know the signs. You need to realize how you feel when imposter syndrome comes into play. Have you been doubting yourself? Self-doubt is the biggest issue of all. When you create something and you start to find issues as to, if it's good enough, or, degrading your work and making yourself feel like you haven't done a quality job. And sometimes you may have done something right, but you end up thinking, this isn't good enough. Or you start blaming external factors. So you say, oh, if this person hadn't helped me with this little bit, I wouldn't have got this right. So you're harsh on yourself constantly, and sometimes it kind of overtakes everything. Don't get me wrong, it's fine to to be tough on yourself, if that drives you. However, if you are too tough on yourself, you have to recognize that this might be imposter syndrome, and you need to kind of dial it back and have a think of how you can come through that. The second thing to remember is you are not alone. A lot of people have these issues, regardless of what position you're in. So think of it like this. A lot of people are scared to go into a new job because they don't know what to expect, and we are all scared of the unknown. This happens at the age of 40, this happens at the age of 30, and you may be 23 coming out of a graduate scheme and getting promoted, and you feel like you don't deserve it. It happens to everyone, and you just need to remember that it is normal and you can get through it. Another way to cope with imposter syndrome is to let go of perfectionism. When you are, working so hard and you're being really harsh on yourself because you're a perfectionist and you want to get things right first time, it can be really difficult, because you need to be able to cope with the fact that sometimes, because you think it's not perfect does not mean that someone else won't find it perfect. And you need to stop being so critical of yourself. That's the best thing out of it. This way you can cope with imposter syndrome by not being such a perfectionist. Remember to be kind to yourself, because, the working world is tough, and sometimes it might be self-pressure. It may not be your colleagues, it may just be yourself. And you need to remember to be kind to yourself. It's so important. It's really basic, but it's important at the same time. If you're not kind to yourself, you won't cope with it. And imposter syndrome will happen regardless. So be kind to yourself and you will cope with it. Track your good stuff. Track your work. So any success you've had, make sure you keep track of it. It's really important to keep track of your successes, because there will be one day that you feel horrible. And it's really important to think back at the great stuff that you've done. This is a great way to cope with imposter syndrome. because sometimes you feel you don't deserve to be in that position you're in. But then when you think back at the great stuff that you've done, the absolutely amazing things that you've done, it then makes you think, wow, maybe I did deserve this. And that's a great way of coping with imposter syndrome. Another thing is, if you have a mentor or a great manager which you have a good relationship with, it's very good to talk with them. Have a chat with them, on a friendly basis. Make them understand how you are feeling about something, and even open up and say to them that you are feeling this way. A lot of people can relate to what is going on with you because they have all been there. People that are in a higher position than you, we have all been there. Sometimes we just kind of do things and we go through things and the expectations are high from us, and you've just got to get on with it. A mentor will really help you out to get you through that patch where you're feeling down. And sometimes you may be too critical on yourself. The mentor will be able to see that you are critical on yourself, because it's sometimes looking from the outside in is very different to the person, the individual themselves. Sometimes you've just got to say yes to opportunities. Say yes and then deal with it later. The reason why I say this is a lot of people are too scared to make the big jumps, taking that risk. Imposter syndrome does that to you. When it comes to applying to a job, the reason why you haven't applied to that job that you really want is because maybe there's one sentence where it says that this person doesn't have this type of characteristic, or this person needs this specific talent, and you say to yourself you're never going to get that job. However, you may have something else that they haven't even listed. So remember to say yes to opportunities. You never know what's going to happen. It could be your next big break. It could be your next job. Say yes and go for it. Deal with it later. Sort it out later. The last thing is embrace the feeling. Don't be scared of the feeling of imposter syndrome. It is normal. We all feel it. It is normal. Embrace it. Don't be worried. It will be fine. At the end of the day, we are all human, and you are working for humans. And the biggest thing is, organizations may be huge and so vast that you cannot even comprehend how they've got to the position they're in. However, you are human, you're working for humans, and you have humans as co-workers. So interact with your fellow human beings, embrace the feeling of imposter syndrome because it happens to everyone, and just go with it. Good luck as you build your career, and good luck as you take that big step into the next job, whatever it is that you want to do next. I'm really excited and it's going to be great. Take that big step, take the risk, and it will pay off. Thank you very much for watching my video. This is a really short and sweet one, and if you liked the video, if it added any value to you at all, please smash the like button. I would really appreciate it. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe to my channel. You will get more content like this, and I hope you enjoyed this content. Thank you very much and have a good day.